Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Purple and a Rose Love and Astrology Night. Tonight, we're going to talk Libra New Moon. This new moon is going to peak on October 21st, 2025 at 7:25 a.m. Central Time. You'll want to adjust that to your own time zone. I'm going to go over that energy. I'll read for the collective, and I will offer some free and paid mini readings at the end. Guys, please remember we are multi streaming. So tonight we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. Diana coming in, first one, welcome. All right, so I'm out on the porch again tonight, guys. The weather is beautiful. You may hear some background noise, so if you do, I hope it's not too bad. I do want to do, I would like to do a little bit of a mic check. So let me know how the sound is. I noticed that we have two options for this mic. So I kind of want to try out that second option and see which one is better. So this was first option. Let's tell me what this sounds like. How's that, guys? Is that clear? Better? Was the first one better? Let me know. I'm learning all the new buttons on the mic, so I'm just kind of testing it all out. Sandra gives us an audio check, but which one was better, at the beginning or now? Or does it sound any different at all? Right? This probably sounds exactly the same, doesn't it? All right, so let's get to it. Libra New Moon. Pull my notes up. Of course, Carson's going to yell because he can't get to Nana. I'm sorry, y'all. Vanessa, welcome. The first one. All right, let's swap back. More background noise on the second one. Sweet. All right, so it's better. Hey, maybe that's what that means. But I don't know, guys. Carson is pretty loud. Like, I'm pretty sure you're probably going to be able to hear him regardless. Jeff Hines, welcome back. Sandra, welcome. Moderator ladies, welcome. Diana said, I wonder why the number is by her name. I'm noticing that as well. New tags maybe for YouTube. Yeah. All right, let's get to it. Libra New Moon. All right, so first, if you have a strong Libra placement, so of course, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, those definitely could be impacted the most, right? I'm so glad, Diana. I'm so glad. He gets super upset when it's time for, it seems like Nana's live and he doesn't have access. You know what I mean? Like I'm either in my room and I have to shut the door or I'm out on the porch and I think it just ticks him off. All right. So, of course, those placements are going to feel the impact of Libra New Moon, um, more than others. But we have a lot of strong aspects with this particular new moon. So, your Chiron placement is important with this new moon, and your Neptune placement is important with this new moon. Guys, make sure you have your birth charts out. I am going to be giving a free rising sign analysis after we get done with the collective reading. All right, so let's get to it. Libra New Moon, October 21st. The core theme with this new moon is the alchemy of relationships. It is at heart the Libra New Moon about sacred balance and conscious connection. Libra is ruled by Venus, and it governs our relationships, harmony, beauty, justice, and partnership. A new moon here always invites us to set intentions around those themes, right? So the difference is for us, the people in the throes of spiritual awakening, this is not about finding a soulmate or fixing a current relationship in the conventional sense. This is about your relationship with the self and how that reflects outwards. So your spiritual journey is moving from a solitary internal process to one that must be integrated into your connections with others, with those that you spend your day to day with, right? Here are the key spiritual lessons and opportunities with the Libra new moon coming in on the 21st of October. So, the first one I have is that this is a mirror of relationships. This is a primary spiritual lesson of this lunation. Every person in your life, especially those that you have close bonds with, are going to be, well, they are acting as a mirror and showing you parts of yourself that you've yet to fully love, accept, or integrate. The awakening lens that this new moon offers is it's going to help you pay close attention to who triggers you and why. The irritation you feel with friends, indecisiveness might be reflecting your own acknowledged indecisions, unacknowledged indecisions. The need for harmony that causes you to people please is showing you where you abandon your own truths for external peace. So, this new moon is an invitation to do some deep, rational shadow work. The second opportunity with this Libra new moon is finding your center in the we. Because remember, we have this strong Pluto and Aquarius energy that we're all dealing with. Pluto did go direct on the 13th, right, which was yesterday. So that energy very, very powerful, especially right, coming right before the Libra new moon. And we're all focused on that humanitarian energy, that we energy. So this is going to help us find our center. With spiritual awakenings, it sometimes can lead to a sense of isolation or feeling of being different. So Libra is going to call you back into connection, but from a new, more authentic place. It's going to be the old paradigm, or it is the old paradigm of I change myself to fit into this relationship, to the new awakened paradigm, which is I bring my whole authentic self to this relationship. Your intention should be to find the balance between your sovereign self and your interconnected self. How can you be you without losing yourself in us, right? All right, the third is the sacred balance. This is self love and love of others. So, Libra energy seeks equilibrium. Right now, your spiritual path is demanding that you find perfect dynamic balance between caring for yourself and caring for others. So here, this energy is going to show you that if you're awakening, you have been in this inward focus, meditation, solitude, processing. And this new moon is going to ask you to gently test those new energies in your relationships, in your 3D physical relationships. If you're always giving to others, this is going to be a potent moment to set an intention to receive and to put your own oxygen mask on first and to make your inner world a beautiful, harmonious sanctuary. The fourth opportunity with the Libra new moon is a call for conscious beauty. So, Libra rules beauty and art. This isn't about superficial aesthetics, it's about the beauty of harmony, truth, and justice. So, the awakening lens with this energy is you're being called to create more beauty in your life, be it through art, music, nature, or the way you decorate your sacred space. This act is a high vibrational prayer. It also pertains to seeking right relationships in all things with the earth, with your community, even with the food that you eat. Your soul is craving justice and elegance on a cosmic scale. All right, so remember at the beginning, I mentioned that there's other transits that are affecting this Libra new moon. I took a couple of them and just made some quick notes, just a couple because there's several, right? First, the sun and moon is in Libra, so this is the core energy of new beginnings in relationships and balance, right? We also have this new moon opposite Chiron in Aries, so this is going to be a powerful configuration. I actually watched a astrology video, another astrologist explaining the impact of um, this new moon being opposite Chiron in Aries. I had to watch that video 3 times, guys. Like 3 times I had to sit through just to understand how intricate this aspect, like how much it impacts this new moon. So here's what I got. It's going to be powerful configuration. You're going to hear lots of people talking about it. Chiron is the wounded healer in Aries. That is, Aries is the self, and it's directly opposite the sun and the moon. So this is going to highlight and activate core wounds around your identity, your right to be yourself, and the courage to stand alone. This new moon is going to be a profound opportunity to heal the root wound of I am not enough on my own by proving to yourself that you are. Powerful, powerful aspect. Here's another one, right? It's going to be in conjunct, or what some people call a quincunx. I know, funny word. But with Neptune and Pisces. So this is a subtle, challenging aspect to Neptune, the planet of spirituality and illusion. I want Scorpio rising. So if you're Scorpio rising, to be very aware of so if you're Scorpio rising, this new moon is impacting your 12th house. You need to be very aware of where Neptune is on your chart personally so that you can really see through the fog or the illusion that Neptune causes, right? You want to be mindful of sacrificing your truth for spiritual ideals or dissolving your boundaries in the name of oneness. So stay grounded. Not every connection is a soul contract, and that's everybody. Some may be karmic distractions for sure. All right, so for those of you that are actively practicing your spiritual practices, new moon rituals, that type of thing, you'll want to set your intentions under this new moon with the following focus. For your shadow work, journaling prompts could be who in my life is currently acting as my mirror? What are they reflecting back to me about my own unintegrated parts? And where do I abandon my truth for the sake of harmony? Also, meditation. Sit in meditation and visualize a significant person in your life. Imagine a cord of light connecting your hearts and ask your higher self, what is the lesson this connection holds for my soul's growth? And for those setting conscious intentions, instead of I intend to find my soulmate, try things like I intend to embody the qualities of a sacred partner so that I may attract a relationship that reflects my own wholeness. Also, instead of I want more harmony in my friendships, try this. I set the intention to communicate my truth with love and grace, trusting that true harmony is built on authenticity and not silence. And for creating sacred balance and beauty, create an altar that represents balance, perhaps with two matching crystals or even two candles, for example. Place them, and you want to place an item in the center of these two items because that's going to represent your authentic self. Engage in and act out of conscious beauty. This could be by arranging flowers with intention, creating art that expresses your inner state, or even just listening to music that harmonizes your soul. You can perform relationship cord cleaning. I didn't say cord cutting, I said cord cleaning meditation, where you visualize cleansing the energetic cords between you and others, releasing expectations and filling them with unconditional love and respect for each soul's journey. So, in summary, this is a cosmic invitation. The universe is inviting you to step into a new, more sophisticated level of your awakening. You're being asked to bridge the gap between the mountaintop of spiritual solitude and the village of human connection. This new moon is going to provide cosmic support to bring your awakened consciousness down to the earth and into your relationships. It's about learning that true spiritual power isn't just found in silence, it's also perfected in the beautiful, challenging, and mirror like dance of relating to others as your whole, authentic, and divinely balanced self. it's interesting to me because I feel like this new moon is literally wrapping up everything that Spirit has been teaching me since probably December of last year. I can't retain all of this information. I can't gain all of this knowledge and wisdom and then hide or hoard it to myself and not share it with others. That is never going to be the purpose, right? Um, Also, I feel like you guys will probably remember me talking about how Spirit has been teaching me that grounding was a lot more than just going out and touching the trees. Remember that? I kept saying that grounding was more about implementing and integrating what we had learned throughout our spiritual journey in our physical 3D lives, right? All right, guys. So that's what I have for Libra New Moon. I hope that was helpful. I am going to do a quick collective, and then I am offering a Libra New Moon 3 card spread. Really simple 3 cards. If you guys, most of the time, if you've been with me for any amount of time, you already know this. But most of the time, if I'm doing a 3 card spread, unless I specifically put the spread on the video, I'm doing a past, present, future. Past, present, future. And those are actually like my favorite spreads to do. Especially if I've like never read for someone before, or I'm not like, I feel like I can't, I'm not, their energy is not like the norm for me, right? And the way I see it is if I can tell you what you've experienced in your recent past, and I can tell you what you're experiencing right now in the present, that's 2 out of 3, right? So, yeah, I can't confirm or give you physical proof of the third card. But I mean, if the first 2 are right, what are the odds that the third one's going to be right as well? Right? All right. So I see you, Twitch. Could I get on your list for an astrology analysis? All right. So here's how the readings are going to go tonight. First, I'm going to start with a collective reading where I'm going to look at our masculine and feminine energies and our bridging energy. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to um, offer the free and paid mini readings. We probably will make a list. Several moderators are with me tonight, and the list definitely help keep us organized. And what I'm offering tonight is 3 cards completely free. And I'm again past, present, future, super easy. And then I'm also offering, of course, talking to heaven. If anyone wants to get a message from their loved one, we are entering that time of the year where we all know and understand that the veil is very, very thin. Right, definitely makes it a lot easier to get messages. I am offering energy exchange. Free astrology, drop your rising in the comments, and I will give you a very general explanation of how you will experience the Libra new moon. If you do want a more in-depth analysis of how you'll experience Libra new moon, you can do the energy exchange for 15. Well, I'll pull your chart up live and we can go through it together, right? All right, guys, let's jump to collective reading first. I'm using my purple tarot. A Scorpio comes out right away. The Death card. Pluto energy. Death and transformation. Diana says, as Scorpio rising, I need to look at chart for where Neptune is. Facts. All right. Let me start with masculine energy first, please. We have 2 of Pentacles. They could be feeling like they're being pulled in too many directions. Resources could be running thin. Can't get their footing. I'm hearing, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Jenna, welcome. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn coming out strongly for the masculine energy. All right, let's look at the feminine energy next. We have Five of Cups. I know that Five of Cups is normally loss, despair, grief. It used to be one of my least favorite cards to hold. The Five of Cups is actually it's weird because it's kind of it's not random, but it feels like it is because it's in the middle of the tarot set. It's not a major arcana, but the Five of Cups is a card that holds so much power because it is the deepest levels of sadness and despair and grief. That means, Divine Feminine, you have felt the deepest levels of loss, despair, sadness, and grief. But right now, for me, Five of Cups now means alchemy. It's alchemizing, right? Because it's about looking up from the three spilled cups and seeing the two cups that you still have, right? Which is the lesson that you learned, the wisdom you gained, right? And it's like that's what you're taking with you into your abundant future. That's why you always see the bridge going off into the city and Five of Cups. So, is it the greatest loss and despair and sadness and grieving? Yes, absolutely. Divine Feminine, you're badass. But is it also learning how to alchemize, learning how to get back up? And it's more than that because not only did we get back up, but we're rising. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces coming out strongly with the feminine energy. All right. Let's make sure we get Twitch on that list. I probably should have clicked it. It's long gone now. Um, Come on, Spirit, help me find it. Thank you. This one right here, please. Guys, I don't have a moderator over on Twitch, so bear with me. We'll make sure to get you on the list for sure. All right, let's look at the bridging energy. So remember, the bridging energy, in case you're wondering, like, am I having this type of awakening? Why do the things that Rosa talk about seem so similar to what I'm experiencing in my own life or in my own experiences? It's because we're having the same type of awakening, right? But in case you ever question that, whenever I'm doing the collective, remember, masculine energy and feminine energy has nothing to do with male or female, right? And remember that we all have both of those energies. So, our protect and provide energy within ourselves right now, whether you're male or female, does not matter, feels like it's going two steps forward and one steps back. Feels like it's being pulled in too many directions. Feels like there's not enough resources to be able to provide, right? And then the Five of Cups, the feminine energy, that's your nurture and self care. That's your energy that tells you to wash your hair, right? Those types of energies, self healing, nurturing energies. Right now, that energy is learning how to alchemize. It's learning that, yes, I went through this great loss, this great despair, this great sadness, but here's what I gained from it. And here's where I'm going next. Here's where it's taking me, right? Because I learned these things, because I gained this wisdom, right? So, those energies right now, those can vary. It's collective energy. So, it's like, you may be feeling some of that. You may be feeling one side of that, not both sides of that. However it relates to you. But when I get to the bridging energy, when I say this is our current spiritual lesson, guys, there's people having all kinds of spiritual awakenings. Okay. We're right now experiencing a mass awakening on planet Earth, right? So it's like everybody under the sun is literally having some form of awakening, it seems like. Okay, spiritual awakening is caused by trauma. I mean, I don't know how else to go about that. I've studied spiritual awakening for the last what 6 7 years now, and I mean, even those that like purposely catapult themselves into an awakening cause themselves trauma, right? So it's like the body experiences trauma. There's a breakdown of the mind. The mind believes that the world is functioning in this way. It experienced such trauma that now it understands, wait, there's something else I didn't know. There's something else I didn't believe, understand, experience, whatever, right? And then oh my gosh, coming to Jesus moment, spiritual awakening. You can attain that so many different ways. There's people that literally will take their shoes off, starve themselves, and try to walk to Tibet because they want to meet Jesus. Okay. There's people that will do a whole bunch of drugs and find themselves, talking to God one day, right? There's people that meet someone that comes into their physical environment and messes their, I almost said a bad word, thank you, Spirit, shakes their foundation. Help me say it without bitterness. Have mercy. Shakes their foundation to the point that it crumbles and you have to rebuild from the bottom up. We like to call those twin flame, right? So you could be having a spiritual awakening, but you may not be having a twin flame spiritual awakening. Some people call them soul awakenings. I think I like that better than twin flame. I'm not a fan of the labels, right? I'm not a fan of twin flame or all of this, fancy, fluffy stuff, right? So when I get to bridging energy, if you're having a different type of spiritual awakening than me, then we're not going to be experiencing the same type of spiritual lesson at this time. Does that make sense? Somebody please tell me that makes sense. Thank you, Sandra. All right, here we go. Bridging energy, purple tarot. My son bought me purple tarot. My middle son, when he was in New Orleans a few years back, one of my favorite tarot sets, especially when we're working with our shadow work, right? Here it is. Ready? Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords, the spiritual lesson that we're all learning right now. I just heard, I just heard something funny. Eight of Swords is self-restriction, but I just heard the spiritual lesson that we're learning right now is that we were the problem. um, that was just a funny side joke. But anyway, Eight of Swords, self-restriction, and I mean honestly, we were the problem. Um, Eight of Swords. One, swords is your thoughts, your mind, communication. The self-restriction that comes with Eight of Swords is something about your thoughts, your communication, your belief system. You allowed it to hold you back in some way. You allowed it to keep you stagnant. You allowed it to keep you frozen. You allowed it to keep you in fear, right? That's all Eight of Swords. So we're learning how to break out of that energy. We're learning how to break free from stagnant belief systems that are not serving our greater good, right? That's the current spiritual lesson. On the bottom, we have King of Cups. Um, for many of us, to even give you a little bit more detail, for many of us, this is about King of Cups is about counselor, mentor, therapist, and remember we added coach. Um, It's someone who's in control of their emotions. It's someone who's in control of their feelings. Therapist. It's someone we talk to about our feelings. It's someone whose emotions and feelings don't control their actions. And that's what we're all learning right now. We've all been facing triggers. We've all been overcoming those triggers. We've all becoming stronger, wiser. We've started integrating our spiritual lessons, and those triggers don't affect us the way they used to. One thing I got to learn this past weekend is that um, healing, practicing spiritual awakening, wrong, having a spiritual awakening, and even healing through your spiritual practices will not save you or stop you from tower moments. You will still experience triggering tower moments. The test will be, how do you handle those moments? I had a huge one, a huge tower moment. What day was it? Saturday. And I mean like complete emotional, nervous system dysregulated, body shaking for who knows, long enough that it pissed me off, right? Um, but instead of like spiraling out like I normally would, I maintained in the moment, right? Um, and could I have done better? Yes, I could have done better. And I will. Next time will be better, right? Each time gets better. But I didn't spiral out. It didn't get worse. I came home. I did all the things I knew to regulate my nervous system. I breathed through it, right? And I started the next day on a clean slate. I mean, did some of it still like impact how I felt about things? I mean, go check out my shorts on YouTube. It's pretty clear, right? um, but yes, I feel like we're all learning how to handle our triggers. We're all learning to respond instead of react. We're all learning that nothing about this life is easy, right? Like, what would be the point of that? But we're learning to integrate what we've learned through spiritual awakening into our everyday life. And is that making our lives easier? Well, hell yeah, it is. Of course, right? All right, let's pull a guidance card. I'm going to use the soul's journey. Sweet, you got into Twitch. Awesome. I don't even have my Twitch open. I should. All right, guidance. We have the peace card. If you're on this type of spiritual awakening journey with me, you're being asked to keep the peace. We're not allowed to walk up to counterpart energy and be like, "Hey, what the f is wrong with you?" Not allowed to do that, right? Like that's not um, the goal here, right? We're being asked to keep the peace within ourselves. So, in other words, like when I was talking about like experiencing trigger moments and tower moments, even though I, had some type of feeling about those triggers and towers, I was able to regulate and calm the energy, right? And that's what we're being asked to do with this peace card. It's like spirit's not allowing us to spiral out of control anymore. We've gained too much wisdom. We've gone too far to turn around now, right? All right. Bottom of the deck, we do have the judgment card. I'm going to read it. It says, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. I think that's what got me through this weekend. It's like I need to be focused on my own path and I don't need to be focused on what anyone else, um, regardless of who they are, what they're doing, right? Like as long as I focus on my own path, I can't go wrong. So that may be collective as well. All right, I'm going to leave it right there, guys. I hope that was helpful. Let me clean up really quickly and we'll go check out those Libra New Moon readings. Now is a great time to drop your rising sign. Amanda, welcome. If anybody does energy exchange, please let us know in the chat right away. You, of course, do get to jump the free line. Man, guys, it feels great out here. My phone says 68. All right, Twitch comes in. Aquarius rising. All right, guys, get your charts. Who else is Aquarius rising? All right, let me pull up my notes. I got something fancy for each of you. Who's Scorpio? Actually, you know what? Before we start, Twitch, be patient with me. Um, this is PLR. In case I've never told you guys, or you're new, I feel like I've told PLR, Purple Luna Rose, is my um, it's my spiritual awakening journey. So my name's Rosa, right? I'm having this spiritual awakening journey, and Spirit called me to create PLR so that we could all come together, right, into this, soul family, soul tribe feeling, right? This oneness. It helps us, not feel alone out here in this weird awakening that we're experiencing. But this is my awakening. So, like when I do the readings, when I read for all 12 signs, I'm reading for my experience, my learning, my progression, right? It helps everyone because we're all in this collective energy together if you're having the same type of awakening. If you're not having the same type of awakening as I am, then my words sound like a different language to you, right? So that could be, a hint or a clue, right? If you are having this type of awakening, then when I talk about, masculine energy and feminine energy and spiritual lessons and integrating and the 3D and the 5D, then that doesn't seem like another language to you, right? It seems like, oh, I understand what she's talking about. Even if you don't know the label, you understand like the feeling, right? Okay, with all of that said, the Scorpios are, I actually do not have a lot of Scorpio in my chart. It's actually very minimal. It is in a very, um, I don't know, profound area of my life. There is some placements in Scorpio that are also uh, very important, but it's very minimal. However, with PLR, you'll see Scorpio energy everywhere, right? And that's going to be because counterpart energy is a Scorpio sun and a Scorpio rising. So that's why we see all the Scorpio energy all the time. I'm actually the Aries. I have all the Aries in my chart. So if you have a lot of strong Aries placements, then you're drawn because of my energy. If you have a lot of Scorpio placements, which is a lot of our following, then you're drawn because of my counterpart energy. How interesting that is. I've known that from the very beginning, very beginning. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to give the reading for Scorpio rising. So if you're a Scorpio rising, get your charts out. This is it. And then we'll jump over to Twitch and we'll do her Aquarius rising next. Okay. All right, so Scorpio rising. The house placement that the Libra new moon is impacting is your 12th house. Like, I don't know how else to express that this is a powerful and important area of your life. It's your subconscious mind. This is going to bring, this is like spiritual closure. This is going to give you a more powerful connection to the divine, to God, to source, to spirit, whatever freaking label you need to put there, right? The Libra New Moon spiritual lesson for Scorpio rising is going to be the most important relationship to balance right now is the one with your own hidden self. I'm going to say that one more time. Scorpio rising, the most important relationship to balance right now is the one with your own hidden self. This is a deeply spiritual, karmic new moon for you. You want to release old psychic baggage, any relationship in your past, again, that's not serving your greater good. You want to set intentions for peaceful solitude, profound meditation, compassionate release, and connecting with your spiritual guides with this Libra new moon. Surrender to the process of ending so that a new, more beautiful cycle can begin. Scorpio rising. All right, let's jump back to Aquarius rising for Twitch. All right, Aquarius rising. This is impacting your ninth house. So, philosophy, higher learning, travel, and your belief system. The focus with the Libra New Moon for Aquarius rising is your worldviews, your beliefs, and quest for meaning. The spiritual lesson here is going to be your awakening is expanding in your mind. The new moon is asking you to find balance and beauty in your philosophy of life. It's also going to be a time to seek higher learning, travel to beautiful places, or maybe even engage in conversations that broaden your perspective in a very harmonious way. No arguments. You want to set intentions to align with your personal beliefs with a more universal, compassionate truth. And a powerful mentor or teacher may arrive with this Libra new moon. That's going to be for Aquarius rising. All right, let's get to the list. I'm seeing this giant list here. Divine timing. Twitch user would like to be added. Just said astrology. Well, Libra New Moon is an astrology reading. Divine timing would like to be added. All right, let's start with Vanessa Facebook. Vanessa on Facebook. Vanessa is one of our moderators. All right, PLR. Say hi to me in the comments. And remember, guys, I'm keeping it super easy. Past, present, future. So if the first two cards hit, be hopeful for the third, right? All right, here we go. So remember, it's about relationships. For those of us, like I said, in the throes of spiritual awakening, this is not about reconnecting with someone. This is not about, starting a new relationship. This is going to be about your inner relationship with yourself and how that projects outwards towards your relationship with others. All right, Vanessa, recent past. We have the love card. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. I feel like so I'm sitting outside and I have no idea what that was, but I definitely could hear something like breathing heavy. It's probably Buster at the back door sniffing me because he can smell me out here. Um, but it was like this aggressive type of sound. So your past card is the love card, and it's about, it even says like committing to seeing the good in all things. So that tells me that you were struggling to see the good in something. It could have something to do with a relationship because we see the love card. Maybe someone that you've been in a relationship with, maybe someone that you loved at one time or another. So it's like recent past, you struggle to see like why this person was in your life. What are you alchemizing from it? You could feel like you experienced some type of loss. You remember the divine feminine had the Five of Cups, so you could feel like you've experienced some type of loss, abandonment, rejection. anything like that. With that Five of Cups, with this love card, right? So in your recent past, struggling to see like why you have to deal with someone, why they're in your path, what was their purpose, what was the good that they brought, right? Like what is that you're alchemizing from this situation, this relationship. All right, let's look at present. I have the patience card. I accept that everything happens in divine order. So right now you could be learning about divine timing, um, why you have to wait for something. Spirit could be asking you to be patient as well. Like there's definitely something about having to wait. But there's this energy of like, I just want to do it now. I don't understand what I have to wait for. And Spirit's like, there's this energy of Spirit's way is better, or I don't know, something like that. Like it's more powerful or something. So it's like you have to wait for divine timing. All right, here's your future Libra New Moon energy. I release the need to know all the answers. It's the doubt card. So I feel like one, those first two cards should have given you strong confirmation. You're probably experiencing some self doubt, especially if you're experiencing any struggles with like uh, you know, past relationships, exes, that type of thing. But I feel like one, if those first two cards, hit the nail, then the third card should help you with that self doubt. And then because this is about divine timing and understanding, I feel like for you, this could have something to do with karma or like someone receiving their karma, or it's like someone did you dirty and you're waiting for them to like, for the energy to like balance out, the injustice to be like made right again. And Spirit's like saying, don't, like let me balance the scales instead of like you trying to balance the scales. And I think you're about to see that, and you're about to see like why Spirit's way is better than your way. And that's definitely going to help you when it comes to like releasing the feeling of doubt going forward into your relationships. For you, this has something to do with like feeling used, feeling like people come into your environment and take from you, something like that, and then feeling like there's like you're experiencing loss and they're not. There's going to be some balance of the scales to that energy. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that was helpful. All right, Diana, say hi to me in the comments. Twitch says, I'm not going back to school. I already have a doctorate. No more school for me. Sweet. Thank you, Vanessa. All right, Diana. Quick 3 cards. And I pulled the tarot this time. I got the Two of Pentacles. So Two of Pentacles came out in the collective energy. It was for the masculine. It talked about feeling like you can't get your footing in a situation. The infinity sign is sticking out to me. Recent past, you could have realized that you are eternally connected to something or someone. You could be also studying about past life connections. Um, you could have recently learned that you were connected to someone. It's got something to do with like past lives, um, over and over. Um, Maybe reincarnation. What is this about? Have mercy. It's very spiritual, whatever it is. But the infinity sign definitely is sticking out. All right, present energy. I have the Six of Pentacles. I feel like the Six of Pentacles was trying to come out in reverse. Um, so you could also, this is present energy. Six of Pentacles is like getting help, getting assistance. I feel like you're the helper. Um, you're like people come to you to the Six of Pentacles shows both people have their hands out in this card, and it does show like the scales of justice at the bottom. Um, so normally I would say that if you look at regular Rider Waite, Six of Pentacles, only one person is getting the Pentacles. That's why sometimes when you're reading for a Rider Waite, the card will suggest that someone feels like they're not getting their fair share of something. And my shadow cards, the Purple Tarot, they're both holding Pentacles. So it's like both people are getting help, but it was coming out in reverse. I feel like it was trying to come out in reverse. So there's this energy of feeling like you help, you give to others. There's this energy of like, I keep giving and doing, and it's like you're waiting for someone to return the favor, um, like return the effort. Or maybe you're like, maybe this is about like, I'm here for other people, but who's here for me? It's something to do with that. And I think that's why it's coming out in reverse. So I'm getting a very direct message, Diana. I'm just gonna spit it out. Ready? Presently, this is your present energy card. The message is, don't let me lose it. The message I'm getting is, okay, so what spirit's showing me is like depletion, is like giving, doing, giving, making sure that everybody has what they need. um it's like a lot of people count on you, very reliable, very dependable, all of those energies. But remember, the Libra New Moon is about your internal relationship with yourself and how we project that out into the relationships we have with other people. So if you're feeling like, hey, I'm giving to these people and giving to these people, but they're not returning the effort, that's showing you that you're not giving back to you. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. All right, let me pull future energy. The Pentacle is definitely sticking out. Two of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And we have a Knight of Wands here. Future energy, being courageous enough to go after something that you're passionate about. Being courageous enough to tell somebody something you're passionate about. Being courageous enough to take new passionate action. That's it. Being courageous enough to take new passionate action. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that was helpful. Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. All right. Sweet. She said, oh my God, so on point. Yay. All right. Jenna on YouTube is next. And then I have Amanda, Sandra, Jeff. I'm going to say that wrong. I'm just going to say M on Twitch. And Divine Timing. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, here's Jenna. Thank you, Diana. Thank you for the confirmation. All right, Jenna, here we go. Libra, new moon. First card I'm looking at is recent past. The star comes out, Aquarius energy, bright hope for your future. It's giving the snowball effect. The card itself is showing like a whole bunch of white stars. And sometimes, who was it that said that? Minnow Pond. Minnow Pond, one time I heard him say for um, the star card that like things could feel like they're snowballing in, like it's coming one after another. So recent past, a lot of new energy. Either you're sensing the new energy coming in and you're waiting for it to hit all at one time, or it's been coming in so quickly you could be feeling a little overwhelmed. Maybe like a feeling of struggling to find balance with all of whatever this new energy is. I think it's a little of both. I think some things are like you could be having new experiences, but some of it is like a feeling, like you have this inner knowing, that is okay. mm, Too much. Sorry, I got too much at one time. Okay, I feel like in your recent past, you could have even had some downtime, where things were moving slow and you were like, why is something taking a long time, or why are things moving slow right now? And spirit could have been giving you that downtime for like rest, rejuvenation, maybe healing. Um, um, Regardless, the inner knowing is that you know things are about to pick up and it's about to go quicker. So it's like you had that recent past slow period, but while you were in the slow period, it's like you knew that it was going to pick up, and the signs of the things that have already started to come in that are new, like starting to snowball in, are giving you, like recent past gave you confirmation that these new things are just going to keep kind of coming one after another. Page of Swords is where you're at right now. That's present energy. Look at Aquarius on your chart as well. Pluto in Aquarius going direct yesterday, very important, especially for your recent past. All right, and then present energy, we have Page of Swords. One, somebody's watching, but they're not talking. Hi, welcome. Two, Page of Swords is like higher learning. I want to know more about a subject. I want to ascend, find higher knowledge, a higher source. I want to connect to a higher source. It's the right now in your present energy, you're experiencing a lot of one, I want to mention like it's openness. Like you're a lot more open to receive information than maybe you were before. Belief systems could have recently changed as well. Um, but it's like now, before I think you thought something had to be like one way, and now you're starting to understand that it's like um multiple some things. And so it's like now you just want to explore all the different options that you have that maybe you didn't realize you had. All right, King of Cups is your future energy. That is my clue card for Divine Masculine. um, but that is going to be the energy of, we saw that in the collective, it's the energy of um, gaining control of our emotions. It's the energy of integration. It's the energy of being able to handle um, emotional triggering tower moment situations in a calm and um, healthy way. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I hope that was helpful. South Node in Aquarius. Interesting. Where's Pluto on your chart? Very true. Sweet. Thanks for the confirmation. All right, let me see. Where were we? Amanda on Facebook. Amanda on Facebook. Ooh, one of those stink bugs is out here. Oh no. I'll light my sage wand. No, I'm in Kentucky. Have you ever heard of a stink bug? They're fierce. That's right. Go on somewhere. Ooh, don't get mad. Just go. Don't make me get my sandal. I'm not allowed to kill the bugs anymore. It's a spiritual awakening. It's frustrating. I mean, I will. Don't get it twisted. I will. But I'm not allowed to. I'm not supposed to. All right, Amanda. Diana says, I know that there's big bugs in Kentucky. Oh my god, I do. I smack them for sure. Um, we also have those June bug things. Oh my gosh, I can't stand them. Jenna says I can't kill bugs either. Yeah, like not allowed. Yep, spirit will holler. I hear it. I mean, sometimes I do. There was a spider in the shower the other day that had to go. I felt super bad about it. Um, but I mean, like right now I'm outdoors, so it's like, okay, I came out here, I'm in your environment, so I guess I will light my sage and just hope that it stinks the stink bug out of here, right? But like if I'm getting in the shower and there's a giant spider in there, like I'm human, God, what do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, you know? I can only do so much. No, Amanda. Erica, welcome. Welcome, Erica. I don't see her either. She said raid. Erica, let me know if you want to get added to our list tonight. We're doing Libra New Moon. Man, y'all, the shorts are doing amazing. The live streams, not so much. But the shorts are kicking butt. I pissed that stink bug off. I mean, he's leaving, but he's mad about it. Sandra says, I call them hair beetles. The nighttime June bugs. Oh my god, yes. And oh, I will freak out. Erica, it cut out. Let me go to YouTube. Oh, I hope not. Why would it do that? I just got quiet for a moment too, though, because I was trying to look at something. I moved Amanda to the end in case she comes back. Perfect. All right, who is next after Amanda? Sandra. Sandra's like, howdy. All right. Sandra, we're going The Soul's Journey, James Van Prague. Sandra gifted me The Soul's Journey. All right, first card, recent past. We have adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So in your recent past, this is hard. It gets harder when I know you guys, like it gets way harder. Because I want to be like yada yada yada, but it's like, yeah, because I told you that yesterday. Okay. All right, here's the yada yada part. Ready? In your recent past adversity, you went through a challenge that you had already went through before. And the adversity card says, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn, which tells me that the lesson you recently went through that you had already went through before, you implemented or integrated something that you had learned since the last time you had went through that lesson, and since you've been having spiritual awakening. So you implemented something this time around, which changed the outcome, changed the trajectory, I'm hearing, of an outcome. Okay. All right, let's do the present card. Flies out. Humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. So in your present moment, this is a okay, stop. Too many words. Um, okay, breathe. um, okay. You're presently going through so many challenges that you're being forced to align to the more positive, lighter side of literally everything. And that's the present moment. I just want to say it's working, right? All right, let's look at the future card. So remember, guys, if I hit 2 out of 3, then the third one is a go. I'm just saying, right? All right, the health card comes out. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Ooh, that's why you're being forced to focus. I almost said a bad word. That's why you're being forced to focus on the positive, because whatever challenges you're going through are impacting and affecting your health. And it's so in your face that you can't run and hide from it. And spirit, and this isn't like a okay, I don't do health readings because go to a doctor, okay? I don't know what you go to a medical doctor, you can go to a holistic doctor, pick your doctor and then go. And I'm not talking to Sandra, I'm just talking to anybody in general, okay? Don't if you have like a health question, don't go get a tarot reading, okay? Like that's just don't. Tarot is supposed to help you with a current problem that you have and teach you like different areas or trajectories that your energy could go towards if you make whatever move. It's not going to like tell you how to heal your body, right? A medical doctor could do that, or a holistic practitioner could do that. It doesn't have to, you don't have to take pills. Like you can heal yourself other ways, right? We all know this. My point is that you're being shown right now, like through, okay, so this is how spirit heals me. Like this is how, like something will be wrong with me, and then all of a sudden I'll just start eating this thing out of nowhere. All of a sudden I'm eating more of whatever. And then I'll find out like later, oh well, I'm just using this as an example, okay? But let's say my blood pressure is high. Blueberries are good for blood pressure. I'm totally making this up. I have no idea. I'm not a doctor, okay? I'm just using this as an example. And then all of a sudden, somebody's bringing me blueberries, and the next day, somebody else is bringing blueberries, and then the next day, and it just keeps going and going. And all of a sudden, I find out that I had high blood pressure, and blueberries heals, high blood pressure. Again, I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying that blueberries really do, but my point is that you start finding yourself doing something, and then later you learn that it actually helped you heal something, or cleanse something, or bring something back into balance or alignment, right? That happens to me all the time, and that's what spirit's doing to you right now. But that's also why spirit's making you focus. I just heard the word cortisol. I've heard a lot of words. I wish spirit would slow that down. But it's like, that's why you're being asked to focus on the positive, or keep things so light right now. You're probably, like, your health thing right now might have something to do with like cortisol level, stress hormones, stress in general. I mean, God. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's probably where your health focus is right now. And as you move towards, near future energies, because you've been in this present, listening to spirit, finding the lighter side, staying positive, growing your faith, then as you move into your near future, you could start to see some balancing coming when it comes to like your internal well-being, right? All right, I'm gonna leave that there. I hope that was helpful. The pride card is on the bottom, Sander. And there's something with throat chakra, because I almost choked to death throughout that whole reading. So there's like something you need to say, or you want to say. And it could have something to do with like the lighter side, or staying positive, or keeping the peace. I don't know, but there's definitely some throat chakra something in there. I love liver and onions. I just watched a whole TikTok on how another like country, another culture makes their liver and onions, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta try that. Interesting. She says, I've been craving liver and onions, and I know most people say it's. I love it too. But yes, pay attention to the things that your body is asking you to eat or take in, or yeah. Jeff had to go to bed, but asked you to read him. Okay. Was he next on the list? Is that Vanessa said, yuck. Oh my gosh. I love liver and onions. I also like chicken gizzards. Who likes chicken gizzards? Like, not very many people do, but oh my gosh. And there's this gas station here in Kentucky. I don't know if it's like nationwide or nothing, but it's called Huck's. It is nationwide, because I just remember like there's one. Well, I mean, it might like be regional or something, but there's a Huck's in Illinois, my sister's house. They have the best chicken gizzards. Oh my god. Jeff was next. All right, so let's just do it like this. Here, we'll just do it like this. All right, guys, let's do a quick check in. Twitch, let me know that you've waited patiently. Divine Timing, let me know that you waited patiently. Erica, let me know that you waited patiently. And Amanda, let me know if you're back. And then let's stop that list right there. I just realized we're already over an hour. Chicken hearts, what is that? Patiently waiting on Twitch. I love it, but it's a different person. It's not the Mipel, or whatever. It's Twitchy Quirky Brain. Let's, if we don't hear from Mipel, let's swap with Twitchy Quirky Brain. All right, here's Jeff's reading really quickly. I'm gonna use the purple tarot. Guys, I don't normally do this. Like, if you leave, you don't get your reading. Sandra has um, a special friend, and I'm definitely been enjoying his energy. So we're gonna do the reading. Spirit's not yelling at me, telling me I can't, so that's a good sign. All right, here we go. First card to come out again, the Star Aquarius energy. Was that your first card? Who got that first card? But recent past, things started moving quickly. Also recent past, this person, ooh, oh, um, oh my goodness, ooh, what do I do? I mean, whatever. Okay, here we go. Recent past, this person may have gone through a lot of challenging, um, life, uh, like, tower moments, right? Um, and it's like, okay, so this is hard. I don't know what I'm supposed to say and what I'm not supposed to say. Um, they've went through a lot of hard times. And then the very recent past, something gave them hope. Something showed them like that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Something is bringing them. Okay, so God have mercy. When we're going through spiritual awakening, a lot of times we get stuck in dark night of the soul, um, because we like struggle with our faith, regardless of what that faith is. Like, let's say, and I'm not talking about this person that I'm reading for, but like just in general, like there are people that watch PLR that are having a spiritual awakening, that are atheists. They don't believe in a higher source. They don't believe that there's something outside of them. And I just want to say that is partially true. So we need to stop judging people on like what their belief systems are, because a lot of us have actually the same belief system. We're just putting a lot of freaking names and labels on shit, and it just makes it sound like we believe in something different when in all reality, we actually have the same belief system. But anyway, back to this person's reading. In their recent past, definitely went through a lot of struggles, a lot of challenges. It was the dark of the dark. And now there's light. Now there's hope. Now there's something moving quickly, because again, the snowball effect. So it's like something's coming in quickly, changing quickly, but it's helping pull this person from the bottom, that dark pit in the dark night of the soul, out. Um, I just heard the word emerging. This person may not express um, like how dark it got for them. Page of Wands is here. So in the present, at the very beginning of spiritual awakening, at the beginning of their journey, it's not true. It's not that they're at the beginning of their journey. It's they're finally starting a lot of throat chakra. A lot's being kept inside. Was that you? Did I cough with you when I was doing your reading, or has it all been just his reading? I feel like it's both. It's both. Be cautious with that, especially with this Libra new moon. I know the readings are starting to merge. He should have stayed. I don't know what to say. Um, this Libra new moon wants you to enter into all relationships your most authentic self. You can be your most authentic self easily by speaking your truth. you're holding something back, and this could be both of you. You're holding something, like I'm pointing at my mouth for some reason, but you're holding back from saying something or speaking something. And the most important part of this Libra new moon is that you go into all future relationships, whether this is a new person or a person that you've already known, your most authentic self. And the only way that you can be your most authentic self is if you open the throat chakra and express yourself the most authentic way. But yeah, there is definitely something's being hidden, something's being held back. I don't want to show you something. I don't want to say something. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but both of you need to understand that this new moon is requiring us to be our most authentic self. And another thing about this is like I'm confused as to, like, me, Rosa, I'm confused as to why you two are having this throat chakra situation, because are you both having awakening? Is only one person having an awakening? Like, I don't understand why you would hide, like why you wouldn't want to be your most authentic self. Both of you have been through previous relationships where people hid information or kept something about themselves hidden, and this is not, find out your Scorpio placements as well. But this is not the moon to do that. This is going to be the moon where what needs to be said is said, and you both should know that it will be accepted by the other. No one's going to look at the other and be like, oh, there's something wrong with you because you said that. In fact, it's going to make the connection more genuine, more powerful, more spiritual, more aligned. If you continue to hold whatever it is that you're holding back, you're only going to recycle yet another karmic lesson, another karmic relationship. This has the potential to be something much bigger. Just want to point that out. All right, Nine of Swords is future energies. Nine of Swords talks about anxiety, uh, worry, stress. But the interesting part with this Nine of Swords in the Purple Tarot is that the swords are ascending. They're going up. So remember, back to this person that I was giving a reading to, have mercy. Their future energy, his future energy, Nine of Swords, is he gives it to God. He gives it to Source. He gives it to Spirit. It's above him. He releases to whatever is above him. All right. Ten of Wands is on the bottom. Ten of Wands is a completion to a cycle, a very tiresome, exhausting time of this person's life. All right, leaving that there. Hope all that was helpful. I gotta go find the chat. Sorry, big yawn right into the mic. I didn't mean to. Interesting. Yes, both, I think. Clean slate, I agree. Guilty of holding back, yes. Okay, and then Sandra Diana's like, that's self-preservation. Okay, it's not that Spirit saying, Sandra, go tell this person everything down to what, shoe size you wear. That's not what I'm saying at all. Um, there's gonna be something, and this is gonna be both of you. Because I coughed on both. It was like I was struggling to be able to speak. Um, and I felt like if I said something, then it's like I would be seen differently. It's like I want someone to see me a certain way, so I'm not going to say this thing. Okay, so here's the thing. we don't need to tell everybody everything that's ever happened to us. Like, we don't need to meet people and be like, I was born in 19 whatever at such and such time, and then, on day one of my life this happened, on day two of my life. We don't need to do that. But if someone is experiencing something that you have, like, specific knowledge or wisdom, you've gained, like, you've already went through it, experienced it, or spirit told you, you have, like, direct information from source, don't hold that back. That's what I'm talking about here. I'm not saying you two need to go and tell each other, like, every person you ever dated. Like, that's nonsense. That's not at all. My point is, don't hold back experiences or knowledge. Don't look at the other person and go, oh, well, she's going to think I'm weird if I tell her that I saw this weird thing in my dream. Like, don't do stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the part where Spirit's saying, don't hold back. Your shoe size and how many people you dated, that's between you and God. You see what I'm saying? That's the only person you got to have those conversations with, right? But if you're experiencing a conversation with someone and they express, like, hey, I went through this dark moment, don't, like, hold back because you don't want them to know that, like, you also were there, or like, you should be, like, excited to express that you went through that and how you came out of it, and you should share that testimony, right? And that should be both sides. That's both of you. All right. Next. Oh yes, definitely. I said that, didn't I mention it because of the Scorpio? The Scorpio is getting hit hard with this new moon, y'all. It's because Scorpio. It's not that they try to hide themselves. Yes, they do. Um, there's got to be a more positive way to say that, but it's just not coming to me right now. Um, Scorpio is the sign of mystery. Everybody knows that. They're a very mysterious sign. They keep things to themselves. They're a very private sign. That's the word, right? So it's like, that's a known. But Scorpio has, like, a hidden, we talked about it in the Scorpio rising. It's like they have this hidden self, like they don't tell others or show others. And that's really the more darker shadow aspect of Scorpio, when they're processing the more painful energies, the more um challenging energies. It's like that is more in the quiet and private. So maybe there's something about that, Sandra. Like, maybe there's something that you had to do in your, you know, quiet, private healing time that had to do with, like, your deepest, darkest parts of Dark Night of the Soul that this person could be experiencing right now. And maybe you haven't shared that information because, I don't know, you're embarrassed, you don't want them to know. I don't know. Maybe you think it makes you look a certain way. Maybe you feel that they'll look at you differently if you express it, and Spirit's like, no, you should be expressing it. The whole point of when Spirit brings these people into our environment, it's that home feeling, right? It's that feeling of, like, I've known you, I feel comfortable around you even though we just met, right? It's that energy, and it's like, you have to be able to open up in order to allow that energy. If you're hiding something or want to be seen like a certain way, then it's like, you know, not what Spirit says, right? All right, Twitch. Let me know. Let me know who's hanging out on Twitch. It says there's 3 people watching. We did have, it was 2 that I saw for Twitch. The M1 and the Twitchy quirk. And I'm only seeing Twitchy quirk right now. So let's swap out. So, Twitchy, if you're still hanging out, say hi to me in the chat. Thank you, Sandra. She said 1000%. All right, here we go. Quick past, present, future. Was it divine timing? Why did I think it was the Twitch? She's got a twitchy, quirky brain. Alright, here's our list. Bear with me, y'all. I don't know why I was trying to jump over. I talk a lot. I know it's hard being patient. Alright, divine timing. Your cards are coming out. Alright, so I'm going to do divine timing. Let's stick to the list. Rosa. King of Wands comes out. It does come out in reverse. So in recent past, you were struggling with having the courage to take passionate action. Usually when it comes to passionate action, it's something that we want. It's like something we desire. It's easy for us to do for other people. But like, you know, a lot of times when it's something for ourselves, it's like that's where we struggle. So I feel like in your recent past, which that would tell me that in your recent past, you did take, like, whatever it is that you've been wanting for yourself. You didn't have the courage. And then it's like recent past. It came out in reverse. All right, in your present, we have Four of Swords. So presently, you could feel like you're being redirected, like you were headed one way, and now you're being forced to do something else. You could feel like you're experiencing a downtime as well. It is blessing in disguise. It's like spirit's protecting you from something. Okay, so recent past, you didn't have the courage to take some type of passionate action. I mean, I could be wrong here, but I want to say that maybe you did. It's like you finally gained the courage, you took the action, and then it was like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have done that. This could have something to do with shiny object syndrome. I just want to say, if that's the case, like, I don't believe in mistakes. We cause delays, and Four of Swords is a delay. So you could be currently experiencing a delay because in your recent past you experienced the shiny object syndrome. You were like, oh, I want that, and then you go after it, and then you're like, oh shit, I didn't need that. I don't really want it anymore. Type of thing. So right now, you could feel like things are moving slow. You could also feel like you're having to heal from whatever that shiny object thing was. For me, this happened to me. And for me, this was a whole person. It was a whole 5-year relationship. So it was like, I'm definitely now having to go through this healing period that had I not put myself in that challenging environment, you know, I probably would be a lot further ahead in my journey, right? Again, I don't believe that we make mistakes. I believe that we cause delays. And I believe those delays are warranted because whatever the shiny object was, whatever the, delay was that we caused in those experiences, we became stronger, wiser, braver, smarter, right? And we carry that all with us where we're going. So it's like I would much rather experience the shiny object syndrome, learn the lesson, and go into my future stronger, wiser, braver, smarter, all the things, right? All right, let's look at future energies. You have Queen of Wands. It's like you finally take your throne. Queen of Wands, a lot of times, is imposter syndrome. I feel like you're healing from some relationship issues, maybe with more than one person, where you maybe didn't have the courage to go after the things that you want or express like your personal needs. I think you recently may have experienced some type of delay, shiny object syndrome, like I said earlier. And it was like because of all the times without having that courage, you were like, screw it, I'm going for this thing. So you realize like, oh my gosh, this maybe isn't necessarily what I wanted, but it's not that it's not necessarily what you wanted. You just needed to learn something. It gave you something that made you better than you were before you had experienced whatever that situation is. And I feel like in that time, you could have been dealing with confidence issues, right? King and Queen of Wands, we have a pair as well. Just want to point that out. But it's like a lot of confidence issues. So now, as you move through Libra New Moon energy, and you're able to see like why you experience certain relationships, what you learned from those relationships, what you carried from, what you alchemized. That's it. What you alchemized from those relationships gives you more confidence in your future relationships and who you are as you move forward. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that was helpful. All right, where are we at with the list? Erica, Diana, thank you so much. Divine Timing says, I'm learning to ask, what lesson is this meant to teach me? Absolutely. I'm learning to not internalize these disappointments. Oh my gosh, I love it. She said, you're so on point. Sweet. I'm getting tired, guys. I don't know. I've noticed that lately. Sometimes I get a little zapped energy. All right, here's Erica. Guys, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button for me. Definitely helps us, especially with YouTube. If you're new, guys, make sure to hit the follow button, subscribe button, all of the things. I do have a members only live tomorrow over on YouTube. We're going to talk about the nervous system. I'm going to give you some samples of things that you can actually physically do to help regulate your nervous system in the moment of like tower moments, and some for your daily practices as well. But that's members only YouTube. Guys, please remember you do have to be Tribe 2, Tier 2 in order to watch those member only videos on YouTube. Thursday, we're going to do all signs at 8 p.m. All right, Erica, Queen of Wands is on the bottom. So not imposter syndrome. Uh, excuse me. Um, it's more about knowing when to show kindness. I know that sounds crazy. You're supposed to love unconditionally all the time, but you're being overly nice to someone who doesn't deserve your generosity. That's the message there. All right, Three of Pentacles in your recent past. In your recent past, there was something with struggling to work with someone, or it could have something to do with too many people involved. I'm definitely seeing like a triangle. It could have something to do with third party. Someone's in your business. Someone's in your business. Recent past, this is a little gossipy, it seems like, Spirit, but I'm just going to spit it out. Um, like in your recent past, you could have learned that someone who you worked with or someone who pretended to be working with you was actually like working against you. I'm not sure. But Three of Pentacles is like having respect for yourself and others. I think in your recent past, we're looking at Libra New Moon energy, so it's like in your recent past, you could have learned how some relationships that you have, like the people weren't showing you respect. Maybe you're showing them respect, but the energy is not it's not equal effort. It's not being met with mutual respect. King of Swords is in your present energy, so you're standing up for yourself. Maybe you're telling these people like, "Hey, you need to respect me more." Or maybe you're just being more truthful with yourself and you're just pulling your own energy away from that and protecting your own energy, protecting your own thoughts and your own mind. And Eight of Pentacles is your future energies. Eight of Pentacles is, it says that you're going to become more focused and dedicated. Um, so I'm getting a little bit of a message here because healing is not necessarily Eight of Pentacles, but Spirit's telling me you're going to become more focused and dedicated to your healing journey, your spiritual path. You're going to start doing this more authentically with that King of Swords. And because of this, people are going to start to see that. That's going to cause, you're going to demand more respect and authenticity from people because you're giving more respect and authenticity to yourself. You've always been giving it to others, but they're going to start to see you giving it to yourself. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I hope that was helpful. Okay. I just moved into sober living and struggling with all these people. Yes. Betrayed by friends. Um, yes, Erica, sending you so much love. But and again, we're supposed to love everyone unconditionally, but that does not mean that we need to put up with anybody's shit. That does not mean that we have to tolerate an unhealed person's crap. You see what I'm trying to say? Like everybody needs to go heal themselves. Um, I'm just saying that's my new comeback lately. Like somebody comes at me with some bullshit, I'm like, just go heal yourself. Like nobody has time for this anymore. This is 2025, right? So definitely could have something to do with that, right? Who is Tim? Renee. Oh, we can add Renee. That's awful. We'll add Renee. All right, but then we gotta hurry because I'm tired. All right, let's see. All right, now we've made it to Twitchy on Twitch. Did we finally make it? I hope she waited patiently. All right, Twitch, we finally made it. So let me know. Let me know. Say hi to me in the comments. Sweet. All right, and then Amanda. Has anyone heard of Amanda? Heard from Amanda? Is she still there? Yay, nay. All right, Twitch. Since you waited so long, 6 cards. Are you ready? 6 cards. All right, recent past. Let's start out recent past first, please. Friendship card comes out. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. That could have something to do with twin energy. You could just be learning who's who, um, why you met someone, their purpose. You could also be okay. So we have 3 different types of relationships. I talk about this all the time. We have soulmates, which everybody knows, right? Soulmates are those really easy relationships. People say you've experienced lifetime after lifetime with these people, and that's why they feel so comfortable and it's so easy to be friends with them. You cheer each other on, support each other, unconditional love, yada yada, all the good things. Soulmate doesn't have to be a love relationship, but the best ones are, they say, right? Um, Spirit's like, no, you said. um, but anyway, so we also have karmic relationships, right? Karmic relationships are like where they're usually long, they're usually pretty lengthy, they're usually hard to get out of. They teach us really important lessons. Once we learn the karmic lesson, we tend not to date people with those like energies anymore, right? It's like a one and done type of thing. Like once we learn it. Now, until you learn it, you may repeat it with several different people, several times. But what do they say? Same monster, different face. But it's like once you learn the karmic lesson, then you're done and you don't have to repeat it anymore. And then we have twin flame, right? Twin flame. I honestly believe there's only one twin flame. It's just the person that awakens you. It's the person that shakes your foundation to the point that it crumbles and your mind breaks and you have to completely rebuild. Trauma, 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 right? So that's twin flame. And I do feel that we only have one of those. Like there's only one person. Like you're not awake and then you are awake. And it's like we always want to change. We always want to be like, oh, but I met this other guy or I met this other girl, and I feel like they're my twin flame, and we have a lot of spiritual connection and yada yada. Can you experience the essence of your counterpart and others? Of course you can, because your twin flame is literally you, right? So it's like your inner masculine and feminine energy, right? So of course you can experience that essence in other people and other relationships, but only one person woke you up, okay? And you can't change who that one person is. Do they have great purpose? Yes, of course they do. But it's more about your purpose. It's more about your awakening and your journey. So in your recent past, you may have learned about these types of relationships, and you may have started to cut out the ones that are karmic, the ones that are not serving your greater good. You may have realized that you have some type of unexplainable connection to someone that feels a very twin flame machine, right? I hate that word. Like, I'm such not a fan of it. I'm not supposed to say hate either. Okay, I strongly dislike that word. All right. In your present, you do have some success showing up. I know that there's no greater goal than to love. So that could just be the success, is that you're focused on the love aspect of the whole situation. You could be learning about unconditional love. The counterpart energy does teach you unconditional love. For some of us, like the only other way I can explain unconditional love, and I know this is like a really shitty way to do it because some people don't have children, but like the only like when I experienced my awakening with this person, um And I realized that I loved this person unconditionally because of all the shit that they put me through. And it's like, regardless, I still feel the exact same way for that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Other people, if they put you through shitty situations, if they stab you in the back, if they hurt your feelings, if they whatever, you tend to like feel differently about them, right? And especially like karmic relationships. In karmic relationships, it's like you super love them until you know who they are and you go through all the lessons, and by the time it's over you kind of feel like you hate them, right? In twin relationships, that's the difference, is there's no hate. It's not allowed. It's impossible to feel, right? You can't hate yourself. It just doesn't happen. So you could, and I'm not saying like twins can't hurt you, like they can't repeatedly hurt you. You're never going to see like uh two people having this type of awakening where one person is beating on the other person. Like, you physically cannot do it. um can they hurt your feelings? Yes. Can they stab you in the back? Yes. Can they be disloyal? Yes. Can they lie, cheat, steal? Yes. All of those things. Can it happen repeatedly? No. That's why you go through separation. That's why you experience things like ghosting. um, there is power in separation. Separation is God's protection, right? So you're probably just learning about all of these types of things, and you're cutting out the people that are not serving your greater good, the ones that you know are not going with you where you're headed. You're also probably starting to understand why you're connected to a specific person and why that person is freaking always there, right? And not, doesn't have to be like a physical sense, but like their essence is always with you. All right, the happiness card does come out for your future energies. It says, I'm aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. I will say this about the twin journey. I talk a lot of mad shit about like what it did to me, the pain I felt, dark night of the soul, all of that. But I feel like what spirit gets upset with me about is that I don't talk about, like, I should be talking about the positive aspects to this journey as much as I bitch about the painful parts, right? So is it painful? Yes. Is it like heart gut wrenching? Yes. Would I wish this on my worst enemy? Hell no, right? But can I manifest shit now? Yeah. Can I talk to God on a daily basis? Yes. Can I get guidance to what I should and shouldn't be doing, which makes my life in turn easier and less challenging? Yes. Right? You see what I'm trying to say? So, is this journey bringing me like direct happiness? Yes. Was I able to experience joy and happiness before? No. I was stuck in a karmic loop. I was stuck in low vibrational energy. I was stuck in hate and anger and shame and remorse, right? And as I went through my awakening, as I've ascended, I have found pride and acceptance and happiness and joy and unconditional love and awakening, right? And that's your Libra new moon near future. All right, let's look at the friendship card really quickly with some tarot. Ace of Wands. That tells me twin. You were focused on the person that caused your spiritual awakening. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Ace of Wands is fate. It's destiny. It was bound to happen. There was nothing you could do about it. It had to happen so that your soul could get on the path that it wanted to be on in this lifetime. All right, for the present success card, you have Six of Cups. Ooh, that's reunion. It's reunion energy. So I mean, you could be experiencing reunion. This person could have recently came back into your environment. I mean, I did literally like smack face to face, almost. Okay, Rosa. Um, but yeah, like you could be experiencing, like this person's energy could be coming back into your energetic field. You could be, the success is that, sorry, the success is that you're more balanced. You're more emotionally controlled. This person can no longer knock you over like they did the first time. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. All right, let's look at the happiness card. We have Three of Swords coming out. That's healing all day, every day. Um, this Three of Swords in the purple tarot that I'm using is like regular Rider-Waite, where it shows the three swords going into the heart. And it does talk about like healing past wounds, healing inner child, all of that. But it also shows the third eye on this picture. It shows the third eye. Um, so I feel like that's huge confirmation of what I was saying, where I said we focus on the pain of this journey and we need to just as much focus and talk about the positive aspects of our spiritual awakening. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that was helpful. And thank you for being so very, very patient. All right. Who was it? Is it Renee? Renee next? Is that the last one? Or did I do all of them? Let me know. But today, it kicked my butt today for some reason. Separation is protection. Amen. Absolutely. 100%. Twitch says, my guy seems to have pulled it together. He's working hard to come together after what happened after his surgery. Being vulnerable and honest now. I love that. Renee. Here's what I will say. Um, I saw counterpart energy the other day that looked from an outside perspective, walking by, if I didn't stop to pay attention, if I didn't know, if I didn't have my own inner knowing. Um, One thing that is weird that happened, I will say really quickly, is so like I know when that energy is around. Um, it's like I get a little, like, I don't know, little signals, and I know. But I also know, like, before it's going to happen, that there's a potential for this to happen, right? Like running into counterpart energy. Like, I know that this may happen. There's things I do, guys, every energy changes all the time. Like, you can make the slightest move. I could turn left instead of right, and now my soul trajectory is this way instead of that way, right? So like I purposely do things sometimes to like stay away from this energy. If I'm going into a store and I feel it or I sense it or I know it, like I'll choose the other store. You know what I'm saying? Um, and in this particular weekend, I knew that this situation was going to happen, and I knew that it had to happen, and that I wasn't allowed to get around it. I do feel like sometimes we have reunion periods for like a specific reason. I don't know. I don't have like all the answers, right? I'm just experiencing this experience. But it's like, I feel like I didn't get a heads up. And not only did I not get a heads up, but I felt really numb to the situation. Like it was all around me, but I felt like I had this like protective bubble around me. And I felt like that energy wasn't allowed in my bubble. And then I literally like bumped into it um without any, like, didn't see it coming. And I'm Rosa, like I'm an Aries. We don't like surprises. Like we don't know. We want to know all the things, right? The neighbor's dog has decided to come over and check me out. But it's like, you know, we want to be like ahead of everything type of thing. So it was definitely like an uncomfortable moment. Again, I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to happen, but it's like I didn't know how. I don't feel like I reacted properly. And I feel like I definitely had to work on balancing those energies. But what I was able to see is that it was presenting itself, this energy was presenting itself in a calm, laid back, I got this shit under control type of way. But underneath the surface, the little duck feet were just a paddling. You know what I'm trying to say? It was like it's a lot of work for this person to maintain their um, fake, um, not persona, but like their calmness or they're keeping it together type of thing, right? Like that's what I got to experience. Naomi, welcome. Santa says we got each other's back. Yes. All right. Guys, I'm gonna do Renee. Naomi, stick around and I'll pull a card for you at the end. We do have closed lists already, but if you stick around, I'll pull a guidance card for you. All right, Renee, last one. It tuckered me out, like for real. 2 hours. A long one. All right, Renee, quick past, present, future. All right, first one to come out is Two of Wands. Feeling stuck, you're not sure which direction to go. You could be having to wait for something and you're tired of waiting for something as well. For me, it's expectations. You could have an expectation that something or here's what it is, ready? Um, you're being asked to patiently wait for something in your recent past, and you have this expectation that it's never coming. It could require you to travel or go somewhere. And there's something about snow on the mountain peaks of this picture that's sticking out to me. All right, in your present, we have Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is overflow of emotion. You're also getting like intuitive hits. Knight of Cups and Five of Pentacles. The intuitive hits that you're getting could be about someone who Knight of Cups is my player card. Um, it's someone who doesn't know how to like replenish themselves or love themselves, so they take their cup around to everyone, going, "Please love me, show me love." Five of Pentacles is like this person is going through challenges. You're feeling someone else's. I don't know. You're connected to someone. It's like you're somehow feeling or sensing. This could be your empathy. I'm not sure, but it's like you're sensing something challenging that they're going through. It's like you're connecting to them in this way. You have some type of knowing that they're going through something that's challenging. All right, Six of Pentacles comes out for future energies. I think you think that you have to help someone in order for spirit to help you, or no, wait, I got it. You think that you have to wait until spirit helps you before you can help someone else. And the message with the Libra New Moon is that's not going to be the case. You're definitely going to be cleansing the relationships that are not serving your greater good, but the ones that you decide to keep, there's mutual exchange. There's no one that's like overly giving or overly taking. It's very balanced. So the Ace of Cups with that Knight of Cups, Five of Pentacles, it's not necessarily that there's that person around you anymore. Now in your present energy, it's like you see those people for who they are. You see the people that don't know how to replenish themselves or love themselves. And it's like you're not allowing that energy into your environment because you understand the challenges that that energy brings. That's it. So future relationships are much more giving, much more balanced, giving and receiving. It's not just you giving or doing all the time. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that was helpful. Renee says, I know exactly what you're saying. I love it. Thanks for the confirmation. All right, Naomi on Twitch. Last one. I'm exhausted, guys. I'm wrapping it up and going to bed. Okay, 3 cards came out. I'm going to read all 3. Ready? You have the Death card. I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. Strong Scorpio energy. You have Discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. You have the Growth card. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. You're definitely experiencing spiritual awakening. You recently surrendered and finally let something go. It could have Scorpio energy, but it's like you've let it go hundreds of times before. This time, in your present, it's like this time you you integrated what you learned through your spiritual awakening, which is the discipline, the not going back. And that's the growth that you're experiencing with the Libra New Moon. All right, Naomi on Twitch. I hope that was helpful. All right, guys, that's it. I'm wrapping it up. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys. Great live tonight. Over 2 hours. I'm loving it. Definitely going to help my paycheck, right? Remember, tomorrow, 8 o'clock, um, nervous system reset for PLR members. Guys, if you have not subscribed to our members over on YouTube, you're definitely missing out on those members only videos. Tomorrow night is a big one, so make sure to go over and hit that join button on our YouTube channel. If you're new, make sure to hit the follow, join, set your notification bells to all, right? Thursday night, I'll be back for everyone, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We're going to look at all signs. If you can't catch me live, don't worry. I always put the timestamps in the description box. I understand we all have busy lives, and I'm trying to make it as helpful as possible. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm exhausted. I don't know why this one kicked my butt so much. It's spirit telling me that I need to find the balance between, free and energy exchange. And it's like I always want to give everybody a reading. So tonight, that was my lesson. That's why I'm so tired. All right, guys, I love you all. Moderator ladies, thank you so much for helping and keeping the list. It definitely kept us organized. I appreciate you guys so very, very much. I hope to see everyone tomorrow night over on YouTube, members only. I'm always, always sending all of you abundant love and light on your journey.